It's me, I'm C, and this is Kickback Astrology. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Alright, I'm sorry, I quit. But you know what time it is. Grab your guards, grab your woodies, grab your glasses, do what you need to do. Kick back how you kick back. I'ma kick back how I kick back. And let's get into some of these birth charts. Come on with it. Alright, so today we gonna do your boy NBA Youngboy's birth chart. Never broke again, so he says, you know. But it's been a lot of controversy going on with Mr. Boy. What's his foot? Let me use his government. Kentrell Deshaun Golden. Kentrell. So we gonna talk about Kentrell today, cause I don't even know if we gonna talk about Young Boy too much. We gonna talk about Kentrell today. You feel me? That's where I'm going with it. So let's get into it. You know what time it is. We do Sun, Moon, and Mars for men. We do Sun, Moon, and Venus for women. Now, NBA Youngboy was born on October 20th, 1999 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, Kentrell's sun is in Libra, his moon is in Pisces, and his Mars is in Capricorn. So let's get into it. First, his sun is in Libra. So with the sun in Libra, you know Libra rules the seventh house, and Libra is ruled by Venus. So we know that young boy, he loves the finer things in life. That's what Venus represents. Venus is all about the pleasures of life, being harmonious, being relative. That's all Venusian qualities. And with it being Libra, an air sign, that's going to also bring in different forms of communication and that mental stimulation. So you know that he's going to like to have pleasant interactions with people. He's going to like to be sweet and come off nice and come off harmonious and try to compromise when he can. But as you can see, it doesn't always work out for him. But that's where he's initially coming from with that sun in Libra. He wants to communicate in a way that he is able to relate to people on a one-on-one basis, and he's able to keep a pleasant relationship. But when things get rocky, eh. Now, with him being a male with his sun in Libra and being a male ruled by Venus, this is going to give him a softer disposition. This is going to make him a little bit more shy, a little bit more standoffish, a little, it can make him come off as a beta male. However, you have to remember that Libra is a masculine sign, and Libra is also a cardinal sign. So they like to start things, they like to get things going, they like to, have the first idea, be the first one to communicate. That's what cardinal signs do. Cardinal is the modality. So that's what cardinal signs like to do. And with it being an air sign, it's going to be about the idea. It's going to be about the communication. So they want to be the first. They want to be the first one stepping in there with the bright idea. They want to be the first, the first one to get in that relationship, the first one to try to kind of pursue you or what have you. So that's kind of where Kentrell is coming from. And this is why he comes off the way that he does, because with probably growing up and having that softer disposition and people mistaking him for more of a beta male when he really isn't necessarily. He just likes to, if he can get things done without there being a bunch of mess, then he'll go about it that way. But if he has to go to war, he will go to war. You know what I mean? It's the cardinal sign. This is the cardinal signs get it popping. They get it going. That's what the cardinal sign is all about. That initiation. So even though he has that milder disposition, kind of standoffish, may not say too much. If he's feeling a way about something, or there's something unjust or something like that, he will speak on. He will be the first to say something. Because remember, Libra is an air sign. It's about communication, and Libra is the cardinal sign, so they want to be the first to do it. So he's going to be the first one to say something when something is off or something ain't right, or he's feeling some type of way. That's why you see him going off like that. Like, he also has another aspect that we'll discuss later. However, this contributes to that. That's why you see him. He always feels like he has to defend himself. This has to do with another aspect in his chart as well. But we'll just stick to the Sun in Libra right now, because when people come at him a certain way, with him being a male with this energy, female Libras may not necessarily have this issue, because as a female, there can be positive traits if you're, pleasurable to be around, you're harmonious, you compromise. A lot of people may not necessarily look at you any kind of way for being that way, but when you're a male and you're that way, other men may try to, the more dominant male figures may try to step into your box or come at your neck or try to, infringe their beliefs on you. And that's when they get that card. That's when they get that cardinal sign. That's when they get that part. And a Libra can be, I told you, it's the words. Libra can be sharp with the tongue, so that's when you'll get that side of them, when they've tried to do all the compromises, they've tried to be harmonious, and that's why they snapped on you, because they felt like, trust me, they felt like that I've already tried it the nice way, now we gonna do it your way. Like, that's where Libra's coming. They're like, I'm so harmonious and I'm so cool, why would you even come at me like that? Now I gotta say something. You know what I'm saying? Now we gotta take it there. And Libra is like I said, it's a sign that likes to relate a lot. It's a sign that likes to communicate a lot. It's a sign that oftentimes defines themselves by things outside of themselves or relationships that they have. Particularly with a Libra, it's usually the relationships that they have. So they'll end up defining themselves based on things outside of them. And then when they lose those things or those relationships aren't working, they'll end up stressing themselves out or overextending themselves or something like that to maintain relationships that may not even be worth saving, just because you're identifying with it. That's what you use to identify yourself with, so you don't even know who you are outside of these things that you have going on externally sometimes. And you'll get that with the Libra, because a Libra, remember, it's about the we, it's not about the I, it's not the Aries. Now once a Libra jumps into their negative bag, you will see that Aries come out. That's why they say a Libra is the iron fist in the velvet glove. You know what I'm saying? A Libra will try to talk their way out of some stuff or talk their way into something, you know what I mean, before they'll do something drastic or outrageous to try to act on something or go off and do too much. Like, no, they're going to try to finesse the situation a little. That's what Libra does. Libra's going to finesse the situation. You understand what I'm saying? So, but then, like I said, when they jump into that negative bag and the Libra gets triggered, then you see that Aries pop out and everybody's looking like, bro, I thought you wanted to keep the peace. I thought you were so sweet and soft-spoken. Like, what is all of this? Now you want to do all this? Now you want to fight? But you expect me to still be in this relationship? Like, you'll get that with a Libra. So that's why you'll see, like, even if you watch like NBA Youngboy's interviews and things, he doesn't really have, like, he's not really that brash or anything. Like, he's really laid back and chill, like quiet and soft spoken. Like, even with Angela Yee, he seemed more like a shy kid. Like, he seemed more laid back. Like, that's that Sun in Libra. Like, he really is that way. Like, when he says that, like, I'm not a killer, I'm not all these things, like, that's what he mean. But like I said, a Libra defines themselves based on the people they have around them and their relationships. So with him forming relationships and bonds with people that were living a certain way, he began to identify with that. And then he also has another aspect that takes him outside of himself, which just made the impact so much stronger. So although he may not have felt that he was a killer or he was a rider or he was a robber or he was about that life or what have you, if his brother is about that life, his brother is in the streets, and whoever he's looking up to is in the streets, or what have he's relating to at that moment and is closest to him, then he'll begin to identify with that, and then he'll jump all the way into it. Because remember, I told you a Libra is cardinal sign, so he's gonna go full force into it. Like, he'll probably end up being you know what I mean? He'll probably end up being worse than the dude who got him in the game. Like, you can see this not even just with Youngboy, but like, look at Lil Wayne. Like, he associated heavily with, like, they say he wasn't This is allegedly. I don't know, but they say he wasn't necessarily a drug dealer, but he related people close to him were gangbangers. Sorry, he wasn't really a gang member, but people close to him were. So he began to relate closely with that. And he began to identify himself by that. Even with Birdman, remember he used to go by Birdman Jr. all the time. He began to identify so close with him and call him a father and all of these things. He began to identify with that. You see what I'm saying? That was a part of who he was. He was Birdman Jr. He kept saying that. You see what I'm saying? Where some people would have just been like, hey, this is our manager, this dude signed me, put me on, da da da. He began to identify that one-on-one relationship. He began to identify himself with that, like, you are me, I am you. Like, so this is also why you see that he has his relationship, had prior to everything that went down, allegedly, because I don't know. We saw the video, but we still don't know. But anyhow, you saw that he had his relationship in the forefront. He put it out to the world. He had her all over social media and his videos and everything. His relationship, you could tell, was really a big part of his life and really a big part of what he identified with and how he really identified himself. And you can see that even when he's not in a relationship, he identifies with that. Like he's always going to, define himself based on the relationships that he's in or that he isn't in, but it's always going to be about a relationship. You see what I'm saying? It's always going to be about a best friend. It's always going to be about a mom. It's always going to be about a baby. It's always going to be about a spouse. Like, it's not always necessarily a significant other. Sometimes it's, like I said, a best friend, a mom, a baby. Like, all of these are just different relationships. Now, this is also why we see him going off on the internet and things like that. He's real slick at the mouth. Like, he talks a good game. Like, we've never actually seen him put hands on anyone. Not to say that he won't, but you see that he leads with that. He's coming out the gate with that. He's sharp with the tongue. He's sharp with the words. Like, that's where he's going with it every time. Like, we see that about him. Like, we've never actually seen him pop off on somebody or anything like that, but we see that he'll threaten somebody in a heartbeat. That's that sun in Libra. That's what that is. Like a war of words kind of thing. That's that sun in Libra. But whether or not he'll actually, he's about that, we'll have to get into his Mars sign. But that sun in Libra, that's why you hear him going out first. That's why you hear him spazzing and calling people out and addressing the situation, being the first one to say something, call my name, put my name. That's that sun in Libra. Even with the recent incident with him kissing his best friend or whoever on the cheek in the club or what have you, and it caused this big uproar. Like I said, he is more of a sensitive person. He's more of a Venusian character. He's more of a harmonious character. He wants to spread love. Like, that's what a Libra does. Like, that's the Venusian energy. I always want to put out that positive energy and get that love back in return. You know what I mean? It's all about that reciprocation. So that's where that's coming from. But he also has a moon in Pisces, so that just makes him even more sensitive. So it's like, that's true to who he is. Like, it didn't have to be anything funny about it. Not to say it's not, because Libra have a tendency to go both ways. Remember that duality. But he has that natural energy about him where he is more empathetic and more sensitive and more gentle and wants to be loving and caring, especially the people closest to him, because we can also see that he has trust issues. But with the people closest to him, he'll be very generous, he'll be very loving, he'll be very emotional. Like, that's a part of who he is. You also could see this with, like, Eminem. Remember Eminem back in the day? He'll be cussing his mama out, calling his baby mama all kinds of names. He gonna kill him, throwing in the dumpster. And then right next to that song, right after that song, it'll be a song about his daughter, the sweetest song you ever heard. Like, that type of stuff. Like, that's that Libra. That's that Libra energy. Like, where it's like, they definitely have that duality to them. They definitely are the scales. They're trying to balance it out. They're always trying to figure out a balance. Remember that when you're dealing with Libra, they're always trying to find a balance, whether it's between work and home, or whether it's between this relationship or that relationship, whether it's between this cereal or that cereal. Like, it's like that. A Libra is always trying to weigh it out. So if your patience game isn't up and you're dealing with a Libra, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. To be honest, work on it. or go crazy, whichever one. Cause all they gonna do is send you back and forth on the scale. You just gonna be going back and forth. With his sun being in Libra, this will, and Libra being ruled by Venus, this will also make him a very creative person. Remember, Venus is all about pleasures, harmony, artistry, things like that. So, things that you enjoy, things that you like to do. That's all that Venus is all about. So he's gonna be, and remember Libra's an air sign, so he's gonna be great with his words. He's gonna know how to put his words together in a pleasurable way. He's gonna know how to put his words together in a way where it can be understood, it can be received well. You see what I'm saying? It can be understood by the masses in a positive light. It sounds good when it comes out of his mouth. Even if he may be saying something negative, it'll sound good. So that's why you see in his art, even though he's saying grimy things and, not necessarily the most positive things, the way that he's giving it off and the way he's able to string his words together, it comes off in a beautiful way. And that's what that Sun in Libra can give him is giving him the capacity to do. Not can, it is. So that was part one, all about NBA Youngboy's Sun in Libra. We got to see why he had his relationships on the forefront, whether it was with the Shania girl or was it Malu? He messed with Danielle. He had all kinds of stuff going on. But that's why we got to see that, you know what I mean? Why he's creative with his words, why he chose to be a rapper and maybe not just a producer or a dancer, or he could have done a lot of things with that Venusian quality, but he chose to be a rapper, use those words, make beautiful music with those words, and that has to do with that Sun in Libra. So as always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you kick back with part 2. Come on with it.